what up, what up? I hope that everybody is having a good, whatever day this is. What day is this? Thursday? No. Oh God, is it Wednesday? Thursday? Anyway, it's some day of the week. And yeah, I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. I have a little preface topic before I actually talk about what I'm going to talk about, which is things I've learned from rap music or rather attempting rap. But before I get into that, I want to talk about Amanda LaCount briefly. Her quote that I actually put on my most recent TikTok dance video is, if you love it, do it. You know, basically she says it's simple as that. And if you don't know who Amanda LaCount is, go check her Instagram out. Go check her TikTok out if you have TikTok. She's an amazing dancer. She's like 19 or 20 years old. She's already been in Katy Perry's music video. She's performed with Lizzo at Coachella. She's performed with Meghan Trainor. She's been on the Ellen Show. She's amazing. She's remarkable. And she's her hashtag is breaking the stereotype. And she is most certainly doing that. And she has inspired me. One of many dancers, or I'll say a few significant ones for me that have, passed the torch and reminded me that I love to dance, not just in a free form way, but in a way where I actually have to sit down and think about what words mean and what moves represent or can be translated into those words, and have the audacity to share it with the world because I have that right. And so do you. So my reason for bringing that up is, if there's something that you love to do, be it dance or rap music, or be it both, or whatever, you want to try welding, like, number one, don't expect to be excellent for a while, but that shouldn't stop you from trying. It shouldn't stop you from putting yourself out there, and it shouldn't stop you for telling people where they can go if they have something to say about you having the audacity to be on the field, because they're just on the bleachers and they're just jealous. So anyway, so there's that topic. But what I wanted to talk about was rap, right? Let's see. I've learned some things. If you want any insight about that, which you're going to get some. So at least what I've learned, things that are important. Space is important, not only so people can catch what you're saying, but also I've learned that space sometimes adds more impact to what's being said. Space gives you time to breathe in between one line and the next. Space is like, what Pac and Big are known for, and it's why they're the two greatest rappers of all time, or at least they were considered at one point. I don't know if the game has changed. I don't know. I'm not hip to it yet, but at one point they were considered the greatest, and so following that example, so space is super important. Breath support, dramatic effect, all that. How many words are in a line, or how many syllables, I should say, is really important. I've learned because if you have too many words, it sounds jumbled. Sometimes I'm trying to be like grammatically correct, and I'm like, you don't have to with rap. That's like one of the most beautiful parts about it, is like, you don't have to like have correct English to do it. You can use slang. The slang helps. The slang is oftentimes, less wordy, less syllables. And you can actually emphasize like not having to articulate it all, like, I don't know. I can't think of like trying to. You can just be like trying to do it. I'ma do it, whatever. Yeah, so, and the other part of that, the flip side of that, is if you use too few words, it can sound really stretched and pulled, and it sounds like something needs to be put there. Not to be confused with like, if you emphasize words and elongate them, like stretch them, that's like a different thing, because you can feel it has a purpose. I forget what song this is. Oh, I think it's Mystical. Like, what are you doing? Whatever song that is, I forget. It'll come to me like later during this video or after I end it. And the other thing is rhythm changing. It's kind of like, I feel like being a rapper, I mean, everything is rhythm, right? But I really noticed, like with rap in particular, it's very likened to drumming, to being a drummer. When you're rapping, you're a drummer, And it's really cool to hear like people like Kendrick or Eminem, people who like really change the rhythm often. I mean, there's a bunch of rappers. There's like tons and tons and scores that I'm not gonna name all right now. But there's many amazing rappers who do this, and what that does is it breaks the monotony, number one, and it kind of takes you on a trip. It's kind of like, it's storytelling in general, but I feel like it kind of adds dynamic, which is cool. And then on the flip side, it's also cool sometimes to stay with the same pattern every now and again, maybe not switch it up as often, But one thing that I just, maybe because I have ADD, I get bored. So if I have the same da 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 whatever, I wouldn't want to do that for the whole song, for example. Maybe like a whole verse, or maybe like a little variation, and then you go back to the original pattern, things like that. Confidence is obviously key, unless you're emphasizing a personality type that's, lethargic or shy or whatever. And I mean, rapping, just like I guess many other art forms, is also like, it incorporates so much. It incorporates acting. So if you were a theater kid, this is for you. You can totally be as dramatic or as non-dramatic as you want to be. Excuse me. And it's great. Like, it's all celebrated. It all works. And let me see. Is there anything else? Also, if you're a singer on any level, whether you think that you're a singer or not, like, another thing that breaks the monotony of just like saying words with no melody is like sometimes, rappers go into that sing-songy thing that they do where they break into song for a moment and then they go back to rapping again, which is cool. Like it adds another layer. And yeah, I would say don't be afraid to, once we actually can leave the house again, go to some rap open mics in your area. Look up ciphers on YouTube. Yeah, like listen to people who are considered the greats. Listen to how they do it. Study it, memorize it, and then forget it. Kind of like jazz music, right? Like you spend all this time learning jazz theory, and then, as soon as it's time to solo over changes, they're like, forget everything you learned. And you're like, sweet, that'll be totally simple to do. I will totally not have a hard time removing all that stuff I guess worked really hard to plant into my brain and kicking it out again. But it's the same principle. It's important to try to allow yourself to be completely in that creative space where you just immerse yourself and you just let it happen and try to see whatever comes out. Another cool thing that's fun to do and also super hard, it's still really hard for me to do, is freestyling, like actually freestyling, not like they label it a freestyle on YouTube and they totally wrote it before they got there. No, I'm talking about real life. They didn't know what they were going to be rapping about and they showed up and they just off the top of the head, just off the dome, just like, psh, that is hard. So if you want to pull up some of your favorite instrumentals on YouTube or something of that nature, or if you have some albums that are just instrumentals, give a shot at just freestyling over top of that. And it can be, rap is a stream of consciousness anyway, but it can be, there's a fake plant in my corner. I could be like, I don't know, I got this fake plant in the corner, wanna adorn you with this magic, gotta have it. Oh, a rabbit pulling out of my hat, oh, look at that. I don't know. It could be, just a stream of consciousness, or you could like try to rap about one thing. Try to like create layers about one thing. Oh, this window's kind of dirty and I'm feeling kind of flirty, want to touch it, but I don't want to look for the button like a cigarette. It's hard to stay on the same topic, to be honest, as you can see, because, as soon as you finish one thing, it's kind of like, for me, I start to scramble and I start to get nervous. And I'm like, oh, I have to put something in this space. But the cool thing about it too is that's the point about, it brings back my point about changing the pattern, because if you're stuck, you can take a pause, like slouching on the couch and I'm thinking about picking up the dime that I know was underneath, and look at my feet, I just painted my toes looking for a rose, and I don't know where else I'm gonna go with this flow, but Back to that window. I don't know. Just, you know what I mean? Just do your best and don't give up on it. And again, F people if they have negative things to say, because unless they're out on the field with you, and even if they are out on the field with you, like, they should be encouraging you. We should all be encouraging one another, because trying stuff that's new, or trying in general, whether it's new to you or not, is hard. And it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger, as they say in CrossFit. So yeah, and it's kind of like that John B song. I'll end on this. It's gonna take a lot of trust from you. How's it go? Anyway, I'm messing it up, but it's basically like, it's gonna take, I'm messing it up. Anyway, he basically says it's gonna take a lot of trust from you for us to make it through. And it is. It's gonna take a lot of trust from you yourself and you again, to try something that's new and that's terrifying, or to get back in the game and try something again. So trust the process, be gentle with yourself, and dive. Peace.